So I came to America with just $100 and a suitcase of clothes. I'd come in search of the American dream. I'd come initially to become a medical doctor because all my dreams all my life was being a gynecologist because I felt like that was going to be the best way that I can change lives and make a difference in the world. And interestingly, too, one of the reasons why I wanted to become a gynecologist because born in Nigeria, either you are a doctor, a nurse, or an accountant, or you've been seen as a failure. So I had that pressure on myself, too, to try to fulfill the dreams that my parents and the society had for me. But a few years in and taking classes and going through the whole, sciences and stuff, I found that I lost passion for science, but that there was a higher and greater purpose for my life. And I found that what I really enjoyed doing was not being in the lab and trying to fix people in the hospital, but was actually to empower entrepreneurs and creators to launch businesses online and share their passion. And that journey led me to found Vonza, which is the first Black-owned all-in-one platform for creators to launch their business online. But the interesting thing about the story was that even though, starting a tech company as a Black man, I found myself initially having what they call the imposter syndrome. I thought I needed to be, so funded like our competitors or to have all these big resources behind me before my company could be successful. It wasn't until I began to look back and see that what really sets me apart from the competitor, from the business place, from the marketplace was my story. So that's how I went back and discovered the power of the story. What happens with a story is that your story is what separates you from other people and separates you from the business place or your competitors. And if anybody would just take some time to begin to pay more attention to their story, you're going to find out that in your story lies in your superpower and your genius. One of the biggest misconceptions in life is that a lot of people feel like for them to make a big impact in life, they have to be a nuclear physicist or they have to be an innovator or be like Elon Musk or take people to the moon or to the stars. You really don't have to do all that to make a difference in the world. There's a lot of people in the world who think like you, who feel like you, who have the same pain and experiences like you do. And when you tell your story, you are able to connect with them, impart them, and also to help them to get to the dream that you're trying to have them to do. There are three things that a good story does and why it's so good to tell stories. Stories is what differentiates a winner from somebody that's not going to make that much difference out there. So there are three things a good story does. Number one, a good story helps you to build trust with your audience or with the society. A person who tells the best story will always win, no matter the odds against them. If you look at the world today, even great religions and great philosophers and great movements are based on a good story. So if you learn how to tell better stories, you'll be able to not only change your life, but also change the world all around you. So let me talk about the three main things that a good story does. Number one is trust. A good story helps you to build trust with the audience and your community. The second thing about a good story is that a good story also helps your audience to better connect with you. If you look at the time of Steve Jobs, when Steve Jobs was talking about or introducing the iPod, he didn't focus on the features the iPod had. He just talked about the story and shared the story, and that story painted the picture in the mind of the ecosystem of how a little device can house 1,000 songs instead of having 1,000 CDs as it was at the time. So just by telling a better story, Steve Jobs was able to make Apple and iPod a very, very profitable and successful product. The third element of a good story is it motivates and mobilizes people towards action. I don't know what faith you might be in, but if you read the Bible, you hear about the story of a man called Jesus. And he told a very good story. He told a story about the kingdom of God. He told a story about life after death. He told a story about all these great things that is possible in this great kingdom that nobody really have ever seen or experienced, but he was able to galvanize billions of people just by telling a good story. So it doesn't matter what it is you're trying to achieve in your life or in your dreams. If you can tell better stories, you'll be able to impact more people, you'll be able to change more lives, and you'll be able to change your world. Once again, Abraham, I came to America with $100 and a suitcase of clothes. And that's my story, and that's the story that is helping me to make a difference in the world.